Hello and welcome to the ThreeWill podcast. This is your host, Danny Ryan, and my co-host, Tommy Ryan, is here with me. How's it going, Tommy?
It's going well, Danny.
Great.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Why are we doing a podcast?
Because we didn't do it last week.
Oh, okay. I see.
But we're back at it today. So quick, you got any socks? Oh, you do?
Yeah,
got your
actually,
own
I forgot about the podcast, but I got my socks.
You got your socks. Well,
subliminally, I thought.
I've got a pair of nice gray socks on, so no comment.
I see.
But we were up in the Blue Ridge Mountain. We were looking at the different stores, and of course, that's going to be my go-to thing is to buy a pair of socks now, right?
That's right.
Yep, there you go. And the kids know what to get me for Christmas now.
It's not ties, it's socks.
Ties. So let's continue our conversation about ThreeWill culture and our shared values. And this week we wanted to talk about teamwork. And with that one, we have Tim Colson, none other than Tim Colson as the sort of our poster boy for teamwork. And the underlying theme with teamwork is that we work for a larger purpose. And I'll go ahead and read it, and then I'll let you get us kicked off here. And that is, we value teamwork and believe that we work for a larger purpose. People at ThreeWill want to see other associates be successful, and we look at client relationships as partnerships. We keep our teams small so that we can solve our clients' problems with agility. Our delivery methodology is agile to allow us to inspect and adapt to our clients' needs. At ThreeWill, a significant part of the team culture is approaching our work with confidence, but at the same time, humility. We believe that this humble confidence is a key ingredient to forming strong teams that include our clients as part of the team. During client engagements, we realize that we are not just a project team, but part of a larger interdependent group that as a whole either succeeds or fails.
Amen.
The end.
Drop the mic.
Nothing more. Anything more you'd like to add to that? I guess this.
No, I love this value. It's such an important aspect of how we provide value to our customers. I mean, I was just coming off of a sprint review today with a large financial institution that's here in Atlanta, and we're coming in and helping them with their SharePoint intranet and several initiatives there. And one of the things that we're doing is we're an extension to their team, and we involve their team as we're accomplishing certain, features that they need to get done.
Uh-huh.
And we make it look like a large team because we're including their team members and valuing what they're doing, where some consulting organizations want to come in and create a separation and kind of own it and not have any, interdependencies, where they try to really minimize that and kind of put up a silo between them and the organization. And that has value, but I think it's a different approach. Our paradigm is really coming in and being a part of the greater team versus trying to be a separate team.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine if we're doing this as you have to have a different sort of viewpoint on projects. If we're working together with the client and their team is a part of our team, and again, I think what I hear around here quite a bit is it has to be a high trust environment.
Yes, and transparency that comes with that. That we're getting them involved with our backlog, understanding impacts to decisions on budget, and making sure that we make it easy for them to work with us, and that does require trust. And I think that you hear sometimes the concept of the speed of trust, and there's a book on that. I think Stephen Covey's son wrote one on the speed of trust, and it is so critical to have a high trust environment, and you can't get that right away. It comes through some of the things that we've talked about already, making and keeping commitments, being responsible, and your client getting a sense of you making choices that are for their good, and that they can see that when you face a challenge that you take a path that looks like you are looking at it as a partnership versus a way that you can, quote, get more money. So I think our organization is really geared towards working in high trust environments. Every time we get into situations where it is low trust, you end up finding out that we get half accomplished for twice as amount of money. And, in some cases, that's the way you have to do it, and that frustrates us.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that frustrates us. It keeps us kind of sharp to that whole concept of providing high value and not settling for less. And so we have to help teams sometimes understand situationally, what they're up against, and decide what battles to fight, and know that in some cases we can only go so far in that trust relationship, and we have to find the opportunity for the next commitment to inspect and adapt, learn from that situation, and say, how do we frame this better to put us in a position that we can incrementally build more trust, and therefore we can go faster, because we love getting things done in the most efficient way, but with people, fast is slow and slow is fast. And that's what I think frustrates an engineer, that you want to engineer something to make it go faster, and that human element is what slows it down, and you find ways to build trust, because at the end of the day, if you can build trust, then you're going to go faster, and you're going to feel like you're on the same page to accomplish something that is hard to accomplish. I think we go after big, difficult problems, and because of our approach to not be adversarial to the customer, that we want to be a part of their team, we try to gel with their team and do things like sprints where we can make and keep commitments in fast cycles. That accelerates the ability to build up that trust that makes you go faster. So I probably said too much on that.
No. This is all good stuff. I think I'm thinking, this is a shared value that we have, and as we're looking at folks to join the ThreeWill team and talking with them, how do you? And maybe this has to do with humble confidence, and sort of how do we figure out if somebody has humble confidence or not? But how do you know somebody's going to be a good team member and that they do value teamwork? Anything that you've noticed sort of through the years as far as a way of distinguishing that type of person?
Yeah, I think the humble confidence is the thing that we look for, and sometimes that's hard to test for, but you get a sense of it when you see how they respond to stressful situations. Are they trying to protect themselves, or are they trying to understand the situation more? You can take a path of, kind of the ego path of, well, I'm doing everything right, and you're putting all the energy around why you're right, versus maybe stepping back and trying to understand the bigger picture and try to understand, the challenges that the other side is facing. And we can all kind of fall victim of trying to push our agenda and not do that, seek first to understand before, being understood. And I think a humble, confident person does that. They have the confidence to know that I'm doing the right things as far as I know, but I need to put my ego out of the way and understand what the client wants, what their challenges are, and sometimes do things that put you in a vulnerable position where it's easier to protect yourself and prove that you're right, versus trying to say, well, these are things that we can do better, and how can we approach this in a way that we can be more successful? This doesn't seem to be working well. And I like our the way that we do retrospectives, and we've integrated it into every sprint. We used to do that as a checkpoint, say mid-project, or we do it at the end of the project just to learn before we do the next project with that client or another client that has a similar type of problem. And because we've done it as a part of every sprint, it becomes a habit, becomes just part of the mentality of we always believe that we can do better, and we need to get the feedback from the customer to say, how can we improve?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have some humble confidence to you, then you don't want to, you're not open to hearing the constructive criticism. You typically guard yourself against that constructive criticism. And as we all know, you're not going to grow that way. You're not going to get better unless you have that vulnerability to say, I didn't do this perfectly. And I need to understand how to do that better next time, and be responsible about incorporating the feedback in a way that's recognized and makes a difference.
Nice. Well, I saw today, we were talking earlier about how Tim Coulson is sort of the poster boy for teamwork. And these walls are thin, so I get to hear conversations that are going on next door to me. And I saw a great example this morning of teamwork where Tim was very, thoughtful and patient, and looking at a situation that could have become heated, and just really trying to understand. And even at one point in time, he was saying, "Well, this might be my fault, or I could have probably have done this better." And just really being a great example of someone saying, let's not try to point fingers at each other. Let's try to stay, calm, and look at what the problem is and solve the problem. And, let's not really start getting upset with each other or anything along those lines. And even, to a point, he was falling on the sword just to say, this is not what, we don't need to get upset with each other. And so it was just, for me, it was just another great example of seeing teamwork today.
Yeah, and Tim is probably one of our best people to come in and build a relationship. And we know that that's really what makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm.
And people that can build strong relationships and can do that very quickly are people that will put their ego aside and care about the larger purpose. We work for a larger purpose, is that statement that we have that supports the teamwork, shared value. And that's something that we learned from Tim. He brings that strength to the table, and not only does he do that for our clients, but he does it for his team members. He does it for new people that come to ThreeWill. He's always looking to break down the barriers to make people feel at home and feel that they're valued. And that's so important in the work that we do, that we go in and create that environment of we are one greater team. When we say it's the ThreeWill team, it's not the ThreeWill team, it's the ThreeWill team plus the client team as an overall team. Because if we're adversarial and we're trying to prove that we're smarter or better or faster, that's not going to get us anywhere quickly with our clients. We need to say that we're here to help. We're rolling up our sleeves. We're going to give it our all, and we're trying to find ways to fill the gaps that will make our clients better at what they do. And we don't want to take credit for that, but we want to participate in that. We want to make a client feel like ThreeWill encourages that environment. And so I want to continue to work with them because I feel like my team members grow. I don't have HR problems where people feel like, why are these consultants coming in and, quote, taking my work? Mm-hmm. We're looking at, there's more work on the plate than there's time in the day, and we all value, work-life balance. So we're coming in to help organize around some of that and accomplish some of that. So there's an even pace, internally. And so we can come in when there's spurts, and we come in for a month or two, address some big problems and keep the relationship going. And then when the next spurt comes, that internal organization can keep an even keel with, doing the work that they need to do day in, day out, and but still feel a part of the efforts that we do. We're always looking to say, well, what have you done? How can I incorporate that in this new feature that they're asking for? So we're getting more out of the work that you put in place versus trying to create redundant things and trying to come up with a better service that you've already created. Let's use that. If there's any gaps, let's help you enhance that and get more value out of the team that you have.
Great. Thank you, Tom, for taking time to do this.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.